Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents G.I. Joe Tuesday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the Walmart exclusive G.I. Joe Classified Series Cobra Mole Rat. Let's get into it! Let's start things off with a look at the packaging. And here we have 4 and up. Warning, don't stick things in your pie hole that do not belong there. G.I. Joe Classified Series and the G.I. Joe and the Stripes are embossed. Then here on the front, we have some nice digital renders of the accessories. And then a nice product shot that is practical photography as the main picture, and then there's some artwork there. G.I. Joe Classified Series and the G.I. Joe and the Stripes are embossed. Embossing follows the stripes around to the side. Classified Series is not embossed. Cobra Mole Rat. Cobra! Hasbro print on the bottom. Small print, fine print, legal use print, made in China print, symbols I'm not going to learn, and a barcode. On this side, some nice artwork of the Mole Rat in his zombie form. G.I. Joe Classified Series number 94. Then on this side, Cobra! And then same artwork, only smaller and in a different tone. 94, he's not because he's number 94. And then here is the QR code if you guys want to scan that. I'll hold it here for a second. You can pause it if you need to. Alright, and then we have Cobra, and then his skill sets. And again, the embossing of the stripes is there. Number 94, Cobra! Cobra Mole Rat. He stands 6.3 inches or 161 millimeters. Nice digital render of the figure and accessories, and then there's some close-up of some of the details. There's his skill set again. Warning, attention! Achtung, don't stick things in any language pie hole that do not belong there. Don't give it to babies. Some symbols I'm not going to learn there. Attention, especially don't stick it in your French pie hole. Parents, GIJoe.com. Small fine. Legalese, made in China print, and other symbols I'm not going to learn. Hasbro print. That, my friends, is a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure and his accessories. First up, we've got handy dandy tweezers here to help us take a look at the accessories. And first off, we have the base part of the weapon or drill or tool, whatever you want to have it. And it's all molded in black plastic, and it does have some nice molded details on there. And overall, I have to say, it does look kind of cool. Now next up, we have the gun part for that. I guess that other piece is just like the motor for it. For whatever you attach to it. So it does... Again, it's molded in black plastic, nice molded details. You can see it has a keyhole shaped port there, and this has a keyhole shaped post. And that's how they go together. And you can put them together like that, or you have the option to put this on it, a drill. And it's molded in black plastic, nice. Well, I was going to say silver, but it's more gunmetal paint app there. It's got some nice molded details, some texture here to the handle. Again, it does have that keyhole port there to attach it to the weapon or the base part, whatever. This is, I don't know if this is supposed to be a lantern of some kind or a specimen container, but it does have this one little funky looking, smeared looking paint app on it. It's kind of sloppy. At least it's sloppy looking. I don't know if it's intended to be that way, or maybe it's a piece that's glued in there and they just glued it in there kind of sloppy. I'm not sure. So maybe this is some kind of specimen container. It's got a kind of a wide base on it. It's got a handle here, and the handle does rotate. So that's cool. Then we have, I'm guessing it's some kind of Geiger counter or detector of some sort. Nice handle on it here. I don't know if that's an antenna to transmit, or if that's how it picks up whatever it's supposed to be picking up, radiation or mineral deposits or whatever. But cool little addition to this figure. Then he's got a little hose here, and it's got a port on this end, a post on this end, and we'll get how that works in a minute. Here's his backpack. It's got a clip here for some storage. It's got a clip here for some storage. It's got a hose up here that connects to the head also. It's a little post right there, and then the standard G.I. Joe backpack post. His last accessory is the extra head, which is the zombie head. And I have to say, this looks really cool. Gross, but cool. They did an excellent job on the paint apps on the face. And I like the way this one looks. So that is pretty cool. Now let's take a look at the figure himself. And you can see this head is masked. This mask does not pull off. It is molded in there. You can see it's got some nice little paint apps for the eyes. And I'm guessing this is the paint app, but I could be wrong. And it's got some paint apps here. And on the vest here, there's a port here. And then Cobra Tampo here, and some paint apps on the arms and the upper chest here. I'm not sure exactly what all's going on under this overlay, but it appears to be glued on there. So there's that, and then we've got some nice paint apps down here, and then on the back. And as far as the molded detail goes, this, I mean, it's very cool looking. And you notice it's got pinned knees, so I'm not sure where these legs are coming from. Maybe Gung Ho. So I'm not sure. Look at the little around the collar here, like he's got a cosmonaut helmet that goes on there. So overall, pretty cool looking. So without any of his gear on him, let's talk about his articulation. He has that standard Joe articulation in the neck, ball at the bottom of the neck, and then dumbbell at the top. Allows him to look up barely, look down barely. He's got a little chicken neck. He's got a lot of waggle. He can do the full exorcist. At the shoulders, there is a butterfly joint in there. It goes back barely any at all. It goes forward barely any at all. It might as well not even be there. 360 degrees of rotation there, and he can raise his arm up that high, which is just below 90 degrees. Cut at the upper bicep for a full 360 degrees of rotation. Double hinged pinless elbow, and it gives you that much bend. 360 degrees of rotation at the wrist on up and down hinge, and on this side up and down hinge as well. Now it looks like he's got a cut right here where the chest and the abdomen meet, and then of course he's got a half dumbbell at the waist. Allows him to bend back that far, forward that far. This does hamper the range of motion a little bit, and you can see this little wire detail piece keeps popping out. I'm gonna have to glue it in, I think. So at the upper part, he can rotate a full 360 degrees, but he didn't really want to do that. So And then at the waist, it must be stuck because he does not want to rotate there at all. And he can lean left and right and hula hula. Pull down hinge at the hips. He can give you the full splits. He kicks forward that far. He kicks back about a half a step, it looks like. Cut at the upper thigh for a full 360 degrees of rotation. Double hinged pinned knee, like I mentioned before, and it gives you that much bend, so not bad, but not great. Then at about the mid shin, I guess, it's another cut for another 360 degree rotation. And then at the ankles, tilts down that far, tilts up that far, and forward facing pin for rocker. Now with this head on, you take that little hose accessory, and where it's got the port in it, there's the post for it right here. And just get that on there. I didn't hear a snap or anything. And where that connects, there's a port right here in the bottom of the, or the front of the mask. I was going to say the bottom, but the front of the mask. So you line that up, and there goes all of his head articulation right there. So while we've gotten rid of all his head articulation, let's hook another hose to it. So there's a post right here and this hose, and then the post here goes in the back, and then the one at the end of the hose, there's a port right there in the side of the mask, and it goes in there. So goodbye all head articulation. Now as far as storage for the rest of his stuff, this gun piece can store in this clip over here. And then the drill piece can go in here, or this can clip in there, or the handle for the Geiger counter can clip in there. So I'm guessing that if you plug this into the gun piece, then all of that stores right like that. And then it seems like this really doesn't want to store right there because that stuff's in the way. So I guess you would store something else, and he can hold this in his hand, because maybe it operates for a little bit without the rest of it connected. And then you put the counter in his hand, and it goes backwards, I guess. It doesn't want to go at all. There we go. So he's got his scanner out there, and then his lantern or collection piece or storage container can hook in that bottom hook. And of course it knocked loose the gun, so we'll have to put that back. So there you have it, my friends. He can contain all of his equipment and not stand up. So there it is. He can hold all of his equipment except for the extra zombie head. So there you have it, my friends. A look at the figure and his accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have the Walmart exclusive G.I. Joe Classified Series Mole Rat with the G.I. Joe Classified Series Techno Viper and the G.I. Joe Classified Series Firefly. Here we have the Walmart exclusive G.I. Joe Classified series Mole Rat with the Valaverse Action Force Swarm Trooper with Swarm Gear and the Valaverse Action Force Scarab. For our final set of comparisons, here we have the Walmart exclusive G.I. Joe Classified series Mole Rat, with from the Marvel Legends series making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee. Our final Classified series comparison, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander. From Star Wars The Black Series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper. And for a 7-inch scale comparison from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final thoughts on the G.I. Joe Classified series Mole Rat, I have to say I really dig the look of this figure, and it's a bonus that it comes with that infected or zombie head, and it just, you know, I think this guy has just a really cool look to him, and for the most part his articulation and range of motion are, you know, maybe not on par with the rest of Classified series. Well, the articulation is, but the range of movement is a little bit more limited due to the sculpt. And then, even though the hose coming up from the backpack and from the chest piece that connect to the head give it a really cool look, it kills all the range of motion in the head. So there is that. So just something to be aware of. Again, it's not really a complaint, but you know, if they had used a little softer plastic for the hoses, maybe some of that range of motion could have been retained. But again, it's a really cool looking figure, and you know, he holds all of his accessories. Well, not holds them, but you know, between holding them and storing them in his backpack, all of the accessories are contained on the figure. And that's one of the big things I really dig about Classified series, is that for the most part they try to make all the gear and all the accessories to where they store on the figure. And that's, you know, across the line, that's a feature that I really enjoy. But again, you know, I really like this dude. I think he looks really cool. I'm not familiar with Mole Rat as a character, but this figure, I do recommend it, especially if you're trying to build up some zombie dudes. Even though there's only one zombie head, I'm sure you can 3D print or find somebody who 3D prints and has designed multiple versions of a zombie or infected head to go with this figure. And again, you know, I really like it, the design and just the look of it. And so your mileage, of course, may vary. You may not like this guy at all, but again, like I said, I'm not familiar with it, but the figure caught my eye, and you know, I like it. And I like the fact that, you know, it can be this dude as a soldier digging for whatever, or you know, he can be infected by whatever. And so it's cool to have options with a figure. Well, that does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view that I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I'm now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page, or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content or just help the channel grow, or both, that's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.